to the 28th episode of the Can Learn Library here at the North Battleford Library. I don't know about you, but I've heard and seen a lot about chalk painting, and I kind of thought that was only on wood. But as I've seen through Pinterest and other places, it is something that can be done on other items. One that I've come across on Pinterest numerous times was using chalk paint, and distress a metal tray to age it. So I think I'm going to give it a try with this particular tray and see what will happen. When I went shopping for supplies, I actually came across a kit to do a chalk finish, especially if you don't have a large item or you just want to try it without a huge expense. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this here. I will show it again with the items because chalk paint can be pretty pricey, and the other items I've seen of it are usually a quart or whatever, and I thought, that the stain or the decorative finish and then the matte finish item in bigger might have cost me more. So I thought, well, I'm going to try this kit from Rust-Oleum and see how that goes. All right, so these are the items that you're going to need to do that. These are the items that you're going to need. Now, this is the kit that I was able to find at the local hardware store here, and it has 3 different steps to do with. First is the chalk paint, and then a decorative finish, and then the matte clear coat. With that kit, it also came with the brush here that I'm showing. It did not have a sand sponge that you could sand with, so I bought one of those. And of course, you saw the tray that I planned to try this on. I have a cloth that if I put on too much or I want less of the decorative finish, I have a lint-free cloth. Okay, and I just put some newspapers down because just to keep it clean. So there you have it, the items that we'll need. And I did forget a couple of things to put on my list. Some stir sticks, so I'm going to use some popsicle sticks, because you're not going to shake up these containers. You're going to just stir it, make sure it's well stirred, and then do your painting. And this particular one, I forgot that I needed a screwdriver because it's got a metal lid. So anyways, for the first part, we're going to take the chalk paint itself. Give it a good stir. It's kind of like thick glue almost, this one. You can get it in different colors. I did see pink and blue, and there was some green. I think there was a dark gray. So yeah, I guess it just depends what you're looking for and what your item is. All right. So we're going to take our paintbrush that came with the kit, and dip it into here, and we're going to cover the front side of this surface. You don't want to do too much stroking, because then you're going to get it thinning, and you want to do this. Typically can do one cover or one coat, so we're not going to do big strokes with this one. So we'll just cover it all. Now I found that at least waiting an hour works good. It seems between paint and glue, that's you're always waiting for something, but we'll just get this covered as best we can here. When I had done my own at home, it was kind of shiny and I wasn't quite as happy with it. This has a little bit of a duller finish, but if yours has a shiny surface, you can take this, your sanding sponge, and just dull it up a little, because it makes it a little easier for the paint to stick to if it's not so shiny. So we'll just get this here. Now I think just to make things easier, I'm only going to paint the one side so that I'm not making you wait extra time to see it. But I mean, you're naturally going to want to do the back side of yours as well. But we'll just do the front so we can show you what that looks like. So we're just about done here. And after this has dried for about an hour, this is where you have the option if you want to lightly sand it, just in case you have some areas that are a little thicker, thinner, that we will do that. Okay, so we're just about done here. And what's nice about this kit is all of these three containers all wash up easy with soap and water, so that's a plus. And the smell is not very strong, although depending how sensitive you are, you might want to be in a fairly well ventilated area. So we just about got it done here. There we go. And I'll just kind of show you here. It has covered it quite nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to wash up my brush and let this dry, and then we'll come back to do some more work on our project. Okay, so now that it's dry, I'm going to distress it a little bit, but not too much because we don't want to take the paint off. So just lightly distress it. Don't take too much off. There we go. So then I'm going to just use this cloth here to just take that off. Now I didn't tell you, not realizing the brush was in the kit, I actually bought another brush. So I'm going to get my other brush. Okay, this is also supposed to be for chalk painting, and it's a softer brush. So now we're going to take our smoke glaze, and it's going to create an antique look. So we'll just get it open. This one has a little stronger smell than the chalk paint did. So just take the lid off. It looks kind of darkish, as you can see here. But you'll see what happens when we paint it. First I'll mix it, make sure. And it's not as thick, being it's a glaze. It's not as thick as our chalk paint was. And this, unfortunately, once it goes on, has to dry for 8 hours. Seems weird, but I guess if we want it to stick to the surface, I don't know. All right, so we'll just get our brush in here. As you can see, it's quite dark. So we'll just do a paint across here. Now some people like it to look quite white. Some people will want it darker, and it'll all depend on what you do with that soft cloth. Now when I did my own at home, I think I took off too much of the glaze, so then is pretty white after. So just get this onto here. So I guess the trick is with your cloth to not do it too hard, or you're going to take off all your glaze. So as you can see with the glaze, it's quite dark. So I'm going to just take this cloth and just kind of wipe some of the excess off. I don't want to take off too much like I did in the other one. It's kind of trial and error. I don't know if you find that with doing crafts, and some stuff doesn't work out. So then you try another person's take on how to do it. But all right, so now you can see what that looks like. And I'm happier with this because it has definitely got a different look to it than what my other one, and I'll have to show you that other one and see what your thoughts are on it. So now, as I said, we have to wait again. Okay, but luckily the cleanup is easy. So we'll see you tomorrow morning, and we'll put the clear coat on it, and then you'll be able to see what the final product looks like. Okay. So this is sat overnight for 8 hours. So now I'm going to clear coat this. And I'm just going to show you what I had done with the other one. This one, I think what happened is I wiped off too much of my decorative glaze. So going from wiping too much off, I'm hoping with the clear coat that this will give it a different look. So we're going to take the third part of the kit, which says it is matte clear. So I'm going to open that and stir it up. And again, this is a thinner one, so we'll just grab our brush, which had a chance to dry overnight, which is really a good thing because you don't want to kind of water this down, your clear coat. And you can do 1 or 2 coats. Just try to get in all the grooves, and then we'll be able to show you what the final product looks like once this is done. As I said, there are so many different ideas and things to do. I think I'd like to try some on some wood just to see, and maybe with some kind of funky colors like a green or a pink or a blue. So let's see how that goes. I'll get this on here, and this will have a chance to seal this. Sometimes it's hard to tell when something is this dark and this is whitish on here, whether I'm covering it all. So I'm going to just put it up to the light to make sure I covered all of the areas. A little bit more on the side, just to be sure. Okay. It all, so I will let this dry. Now, according to here, to the container, just double check on this, how long we should let it dry before putting another coat. Pardon me, I'll just take my glasses off. It dries to the touch in 30 minutes. You can handle in an hour, and it's fully dry in 2 hours. Okay, So I'm going to let this fully dry for 2 hours, and then I'll show you what it looks like, but I won't reapply. We should be able to get a fair idea of what this looks like once it's done one coat of the clear mat. Okay. So I have clear coated this with one coat. I'm going to do another coat, but that's kind of how you can make it look depending on how much of the glaze that you rub off. As I said, this is if you rub off too much, and this is, maybe I could have rubbed off a little bit more. But that's kind of the way crafts go, and maybe one day I will achieve perfection. That's all the time we have left for today. We'll see you next time for the Can Learn Library here at the North Battleford Library. Take care.